the trick about studying is we treat it like it's one thing, like one skill, studying for a test. But the truth is that depending on what it is that you're studying for, what you should be doing is completely different. So what you were talking about in the question is memorizing facts, right? Memorizing vocab. And that's one specific thing. And of course, the best for that depends on who you are. But good old-fashioned note cards, flashcards, are often the best for memorization. The trick is that you want to take those note cards, work with somebody else, not with yourself. You can start by practicing with yourself until you feel ready to be with somebody else. But the goal is to get to a place where you can explain, if it's a vocab term or if it's like an event, where you can explain the thing to the other person rather than just being able to say the words word for word that are written on the back of the card. So if I'm studying history, like you said, right, like, and the flashcard says Fort Sumter, the goal is to get to a place where I can explain Fort Sumter to you in a way that makes sense rather than just, did I read every word off the back? Because that'll only help if they're literally having you define it in terms of what they were, in the exact words that the book had it or whatever. But there's a chance that the test will want something different, and you need more than just being able to kind of say the words out loud. Jackie Chan is one of my favorites. I love Jackie Chan. I read his autobiography in like a day when I was like 13 years old. But his first big American movie was way back. It's called The Big Brawl, and he didn't speak English. So before every scene, they just said his English lines to him, and he had to learn them phonetically and just say the sounds back. And it's the worst. So you have to know the content. So I got stuck on just that one, but that's if you're trying to like memorize. A lot of studying, it's like I need to kind of go back over lecture notes, for example. I need to kind of consolidate and refresh myself on the things that we've been studying over the course of the thing. And that really starts with how you take notes. A lot of the time why you struggle to go back over your notes is because they're terrible notes to go back over. So we would work on note taking first, and we do things like front loading, where when you take notes, you put the most important or unique thing about that note at the front of the note. So for example, if I'm going to say, I don't know, we'll stick with history for whatever reason. If I'm going to say the first shots of the Civil War were at Fort Sumter, which I don't know if that's true. I might be thinking of the Gold Rush Fort. What's the Gold Rush one? Whatever. Instead, I would move Fort Sumter to the beginning and then put dash and say place where the first shots were fired, right? So that when I scan down my notes on the side, I've got the important terms instead of everything starting with the first or in the or whatever, and then I have to read through each note. So that's front loading. And then you can do things too where in the top corner of your notes on your page, right, you make a little note, either the day, the unit, the lecture, something to help you through that, so that when you're riffling through your pages, you can quickly and easily tell what's what instead of having to look through again. And then the best thing is to do like you would do annotation with somebody else's thing, which is taught very poorly in schools, unfortunately, because they teach annotation as though it's code breaking, like you're supposed to read a book and decipher what the author's intending to get across to you. But that doesn't do anything for memory. What's best with annotation is like what you guys are doing when we read our stuff. If you're taking notes in it at all, you make your own language, your own symbols, things that mean something to you. So when I read through a paragraph, if I'm annotating, I might literally in the side just write wow and not underline anything. And the teacher would hate that because it means nothing. But in my brain, that creates a connection between the data and my experience so that I can process it more strongly and then access it more easily later.